Here are the 7 things you want to avoid doing if you want to get rich. Just so I have some credibility, look. The first thing you want to do is you want to avoid the rat race. So on one end of the spectrum, you have your income, what you make every single month. And then on the other end, you have your expenses, what it costs for you to live. Most people are in this constant loop of making money, spending money, making money, spending money. And they're in this rat race of this circle, right? So whatever they're working, if you're working 40 hours a week, whatever you're making that week, you're spending it on living. And you're just in this constant wheel of making $100, spending $100, making $100 and spending $100. And people are like, oh, well, that's because you work a job, or oh, that's because you work a 9 to 5. There is nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5. There is nothing wrong with clocking in and making money. The only time I would say that a 9 to 5 is not worth it is if you're not learning new things. If you're not growing in that job, if you're not either learning new skill sets, you're not meeting new people, you're not expanding your mind so that way one day you can increase your income. If you're not doing that, then that job is not for you and it's time for you to move on. But as long as you're learning something at your job so that way in the next 5 to 10 to 20 years, you can increase your income, that is okay. So remember, avoid the rat race of making money and spending money. And I'm gonna break down in these next couple segments of how to avoid doing that. The second thing you wanna avoid is monthly payments. I know that sounds kind of crazy because you got your phone bill, you got your car note, you got your rent, and these are all things that you have to pay every month in order for you to live. But the wealthiest people in the world do not have monthly payments. They own their cars outright cash. They own their homes outright cash. They're essentially investing in assets that generate income monthly. Whereas broke people and poor people are spending their money and committing to monthly payments. Even for me, for example, I didn't move out of my mom's house until I could afford to buy a home outright cash. So even my lifestyle now, I don't pay a mortgage, I don't pay rent, I don't have any car notes. Everything that I own outright cash. And my monthly to live every month is literally just my phone bill, my gym membership, my insurance. It's under $1,000 a month, which is crazy to think about. Remember, whenever you're on this journey of becoming rich, becoming wealthy, what you want to avoid is committing to unnecessary monthly payments. When you go on a website and they're like, oh, Afterpay, you can pay, instead of paying the lump sum right now, you could segment it out per month, right? Then you have that. Next, you get a car note, right? And you're like, oh, instead of buying the car outright cash, instead of spending 50 G's right here, we can divide it out into 36 months, right? All of those things slowly start to add up, and that is going to kill your income. You're essentially going back into the rat race, right? So the best thing to do is avoid unnecessary monthly payments. And maybe you're not in a situation where you can buy a house or a condo outright cash. I understand that. But guess what? You can audit your finances and look at the monthly stuff that you are paying. Maybe you don't need to finance a car to have a better, more luxurious car. Maybe you don't need to go on that website and buy that outfit on Afterpay. Maybe you don't need to be swiping your credit card at the club and buying bottles. All of these things that are unnecessary monthly payments are things that you should be avoiding. Keep your monthly as low as possible, and if you can get it to zero, that is the best case scenario. The third thing you want to do is avoid keeping up with the Joneses. Despite what you hear online, cars, watches, jewelry, and even some real estate are not assets. They are not assets. They are liabilities. You are going to lose money and you are going to lose the value on them faster than a rock sinks to the bottom of an ocean. Think about it. The car that you bought, that you paid $80,000 for, a year from now, it's gonna be worth $40,000. The Rolex that you bought that you paid $20,000 for, a year from now, that's just gonna be worth 7 G's. Even some homes and condos that you purchased for $250,000, a year from now, it's gonna be worth $200,000 after you take away the realtor commission fees, after you take away HOA, after you take away insurance. All of these things are not assets, they are liabilities. And why are you getting them? You're getting them because you're trying to keep up with this image of you're successful, this image of, oh, I can keep up with the Joneses. That shit ain't doing nothing for you, dog. When I worked at the bank, the most successful and the richest and the wealthiest people, they look like they shop at fucking Costco or Walmart. And then I open up their bank account and they got 3 million liquid. The motherfuckers who come in with the bust down watches, the crazy shit, Surprisingly, they only got like $30,000 in their account. And I'm talking celebrities, I'm talking about actors, I'm talking about athletes. I would open up their accounts and there would only be 30 to 40 G's in their account. That is not that much money. So remember, if you want to become wealthy, stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. You don't need validation from anyone else. You're validated already. You're a valid person. That Rolex is not gonna validate you. Don't be buying shit to keep up a certain image or this persona of success. You are already successful despite how you look and despite what you have. Number 4, avoid having your money be accessible. I know this sounds crazy, but even for me personally, till this day and age, what I do is when I get paid every week, I take half of that money and I send it to an account that I don't have access to. I don't have online banking. I don't have a debit card. The only way I can take money out of that account is to get my ass up, get in my car and drive to the bank and show them my ID. I purposely do this because when the money is in my account, I'm gonna fuck off and I'm gonna spend that money. So there's this concept, it's called pay yourself first. Whenever you get a check, whenever you get any sort of income, take as much of that money as you can and pay yourself first into an account that you cannot see and you cannot touch. To be honest with you, in my checking account, on a day-to-day basis, there is not more than $3,000 to my name. That is the only access of money that I have to my name every single month, because every single time a check hits or a check clears, I'm sending that money to this other account. And if I'm being honest with you, that other account, I have no fucking idea how much money is in there. But a year from now, 2 years from now, I'll go back to that bank and that account will go from 50,000 to 250,000 because I'm paying myself first. If you see the money in your account, when you go out to dinner, you're gonna think, oh, you know what? I got 50 bands in my account. I can afford a 1942. When you go out to the mall and you see your phone and you got 50,000 in your account, you're gonna be like, you know what? I could afford that $300 Gucci shirt. But on the flip side, if you only keep a certain amount of money in your checking account and you don't keep the majority of your money accessible, you're gonna go to the restaurant and look at your phone and be like, yo, I got 3 G's. I'm gonna just get a water. You're gonna go to the mall and be like, damn, I'm gonna just go to Zara and get a $20 shirt. Right? Make sure that your money, the bulk of your money is not accessible to where you could just grab it and touch it. Make it to where you have to go out of your way to touch that money. Because then you're gonna have to go out of your way to spend that money. And then every time you spend that money, you're gonna think twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Do I actually need to be spending this money, or is this just an impulse decision? Don't let your money be accessible. Make it hard to touch your own money. Number 5, avoid chasing the girl in the red dress. So there's this concept by Alex Hormozy. It's called chasing the girl in the red dress. Essentially what it means is, let's say you start off your journey as a fitness entrepreneur. You are a gym rat and you're trying to start a personal training business. Well, then your friend starts trading crypto and you see him making a lot of money and you divert careers, right? There's so many times that you see people do that. They start one path, they start one career path, and then they change to this, and then they change to this, and then they change to this. The reason why they're doing that is every time they're hitting a roadblock, instead of finding the strength and finding the knowledge to push through and break through the roadblock, they think it's easier to change paths. They think it's easier from going from this career path to this career path. Let me tell you something. That shit is not fucking true. All right? There's a saying, oh, millionaires got fucking multiple streams of income. 10 out of 10 times, every single millionaire I've ever met in my life has become a millionaire off one thing. And the reason why they have multiple streams of income is because they're diversifying the risk after they made millions off of one thing. I made $1 million off of selling t-shirts and nothing else. The reason why I'm starting this media company, the reason why I have stocks, the reason why I have real estate is because I'm diversifying my wealth and I'm diversifying my risk. But initially, to make my first $1 million, I made it off selling blanks at Superline. That's how I made my $1 million. So if you're watching this video, stop thinking that, oh, if I change career paths, it's gonna work for me. It's not. What you need to do is find something that you really love doing, find something that you really enjoy doing, and stay hyper focused on that one thing. Don't look at the girl at the red dress. Don't look at what your homeboy's doing to make money over here. Focus on what you got going on and what your one thing is. Avoid debt as much as possible. The worst type of debt out there is credit card debt. If you get in credit card debt, the credit card companies, they're gonna wax you 20 to 30%. That's a lot of fucking money. And I know when you go to business school, they always teach you, oh, use somebody else's money, use somebody else. Listen, if anyone is lending you or loaning you money, they are lending it and loaning it to you at the idea of getting their money back plus interest. If you want to be wealthy, you want to be on the flip side of that. You don't want to be getting into debt. You want to be giving money away to accrue interest on it, right? You always want to be on the flip side of things. There are habits and there are things that wealthy people do, and there are habits and there are things that broke people do, right? So a lot of people that are in the rat race, that are trying to make it out, that are broke, that are not wealthy, a lot of the patterns that you see them doing is they're borrowing money to get over through the week, to float the week or float the month. And guess what? It's not free to borrow the money. They are borrowing the money with interest. And even if your credit card is 0% APR for the first 3 years, guess what? If you start building habits of borrowing money, after that 3 years is up, you're going to continue to borrow money, and the credit card is then going to turn around and hit you with interest. So the best thing you can do is trim your lifestyle down as much as you can to where you're not using any sort of debt. Any debt, no credit card debt, no car notes, no mortgages. Try to live your life on a cash basis only. And then once you accumulate wealth, then take the excess amount of money you have and go give debt to other people and collect interest on it. Make your money work for you. But in order for you to get to that point, you got to make sure you're not working for that money. You got to make sure you're not paying interest on anything in your lifestyle. That is a really important thing that I've learned. And the person that taught me this, Dave Ramsey. If you don't believe me, go listen to an ebook or go listen to Dave Ramsey's show and you'll see what I'm talking about. Live debt free. That is one of the 7 things that you need to accomplish to become wealthy. Number 7, avoid wasting time. Money is something that you can lose and you can make it back. And sometimes it's better to lose money than it is to lose your time. Time is something that once you lose it, once you spend it, it is gone. And the wealthiest people in the world, you'll realize that they value their time more than money. Because time is, again, something that you cannot gain. And a lot of times people will be like, oh, I'm gonna go work this job. What are they paying? What are they gonna do for me? What benefits does it come with? That shit's cool. But you know what's better than that is, think about if I invest my time at this job, 5 years later, 10 years later, will I recuperate more from that, right? Sometimes it's better to take an opportunity for a lower rate, for a lower pay, if it's gonna turn around and help you excel in your career to where you're gonna learn stuff at that job. Even in my first job as being a fucking trapper or drug dealer, right? That opportunity, I did not make that much money for the amount of work that I was doing. I was making roughly $5,000 a week, but the guy that I was working for was making fucking $50,000 a week. So in comparison to the work that I was doing, I was not making a lot of money. But here's what I was doing. I was learning things. I was learning the mindset it takes to have a vision and to execute on it. I was learning what it takes to wholesale product, to bring in product and be able to sell it. I was learning all of these things, and eventually those skill sets I translated into my business today. So a lot of you guys, younger guys out here are thinking about, well, if I go work this job, how much am I gonna make? You're valuing it from a perspective of money currency. Your lens is looking at it through dollars, plus and minus. How you need to be looking at stuff is time. If I invest this time today, even if I'm not making the money right now, will it pay out for me in the future? Time is the most important asset in your life. You cannot get that shit back. Hopefully you guys learned something from the video. These are 7 things that I would avoid doing to become rich. All of these things are things that I've spent countless hours reading books, podcasts, all this shit, and life experiences. I could put this in an ebook. I could sell you guys a course. This is all very generic stuff, but you know, the brand here at Superline is to give out free game. So hopefully this helps you guys out. You learn something from it. And remember, this world, this life, if you're hungry for it, if you want it, just go and get it, bro. There's enough free game out there. There's enough resources out there for you to go out and learn and to develop these skills to where you can go and accomplish whatever you want in this world. There's nothing stopping you. Hopefully this video helps you out. Make sure you subscribe. Cameraman Alex is still trying to get out of his house. He's sick of gooning his shit next to his mom's bedroom. Right, Alex? Yeah, so he's trying to get out. Subscribe, like, comment, share the video. All the lame shit that the YouTubers say to do it. You know what's taking me out? Free game.